All right, the Cleveland Cavaliers defeat the Denver Nuggets 149-135. A track meet, baby. Donovan Mitchell, 33 points, 6 3-pointers. Darius Garland, 25.7 assists. Evan Mobley has been ridiculous this year, 26 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. He did have 4 threes. Jokic with his triple-double. Murray with a solid game, valiant effort. But the Cleveland Cavaliers, Kwab, this team, I'm going to say it, I don't think this is that big of a hot take either. This is the deepest Cavs team we've ever seen. The deepest. I think it's the best.
The deepest Cavs team?
It's the deepest we've seen. We can't say it's the best because obviously, like, you know, the 2016 Cavaliers team that won the championship, very top-heavy with LeBron James and Kyrie Irving. I get that. But this team, bro, this team, like, I didn't even say Jared Allen.
Yeah, so you're saying that this team is deeper than the Cavs team that had, like, Isaiah Thomas, Derrick Rose, and they were like, we have 2 starting lineups.
Yes. That's not the D-Wade team, right? No, D-Wade came after that.
No, D-Wade was on that team too.
Okay,
D-Wade was
that's a deep team.
That's a deep team.
Not D-Wade in this team. I didn't have room. I created the graphic for the stats. Didn't even have room for Jared Allen. Jared Allen, 22 points, 10 rebounds. Like, what? This team is so good, man. It actually pisses me off because I was so wrong about them in the beginning of the year.
Hey, it's okay.
Same old Cavs. Same old Cavs.
And it's okay. It's okay to admit you're wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, guys, like,
the crazy thing is, like, they scored 40 in the first quarter. Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, in the half court, I thought Denver played good defense. It wasn't even like,
and it didn't matter. It didn't matter.
It just didn't matter. What separates this team from the other Cavs teams in the past? There's a lot of things, but one of the main things is things that we have talked about over and over again for the past few years is that they're playing faster.
Yep.
And they got out in transition. I mean, throughout the whole game, they were pushing the ball. They were speeding up the tempo. And you can just tell they're more athletic. They're faster. And they just are more skilled overall than the Denver Nuggets. And that just kind of is how they won this game. And in the first quarter, the Nuggets were able to keep up with them. But after a while, it was just like, we're just not as skilled as these guys. And in the first quarter, it was the Donovan Mitchell show. I mean, he was unreal. I mean, that's how they scored in the half court, really. A lot of their stuff was secondary break, fast break, and then Donovan in the half court just hitting threes or just being Donovan Mitchell. The fact that he's not in consideration for MVP is wild to me, considering that narrative has a lot to do with whether or not people win MVP, and the Cavs are the best team in the league. They're the best team in the league. We're doing power rankings right after this. They're going to be number one. I'm just telling you right now. So, to me, like, it's... I know the Nuggets aren't the champion Nuggets. You know, this isn't like they went on the road and beat the number 1 seed in the Western Conference, but they did beat a team that a lot of people think are a move away from contending again. You know, you did go into Denver, which is a hard place to play with the altitude, and you ran up and down. Very impressive victory. Evan Mobley, like, my note says, like, first half, Donovan Mitchell, holy sh. And then second half, Evan Mobley, holy sh. Bro. Evan Mobley this year is just hitting off the dribble threes, pull-up threes. He's shooting over 40%. He came into the game shooting 41% from 3. I mean, he's phenomenal in the pick-and-roll situation. Him and Jared Allen have a connection. Either way, whether it's Allen on the short roll or Mobley on the short roll, I mean, their half-court offense has become almost impossible to guard because not only they're setting screens for the screener, for whoever has the ball, they're setting screens, down screens on the opposite side that you have to guard, flare screens that you have to guard into the corner. Kenny Atkinson, hands down, coach of the year. I don't have enough good things to say about what I saw from the Cavs today. And even in the second quarter, you see the Nuggets scored 135 points and you think, oh, there's no defense played. No, the Cavs played D today, bro. And then in the second quarter, I don't even know how many. I should have counted. I don't know how many deflections they've had. I mean, they had, a lot. I think at one point in the first half, like, the Nuggets had like 7 turnovers, and the Cavs had 12 points off of those 7 turnovers. Like, Jared Allen had a steal and a dunk. I mean, just turning the ball over. And if they weren't turning the ball over, they're getting their hands on the ball, and it was going out of bounds. This team is just impressive, man. This is just the deepest Cavs team I think we've ever seen. Dean Wade started today in place of Isaac Okoro, who was hurt. Max is back. Karis LeVert, Yang, Merrill, Ty Jerome. Like, what? Like, these are all legit significant players you can play in the playoffs. Yeah. You know, this isn't like empty calories, rotation pieces in the back end. Like, these are players you can put in the game in the playoffs and not be worried. This team's good, man, and this tonight just reinforced it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think another point when we talk about the Cavs, that's not really like highlighted a lot. Like, but you mentioned when talking about the deflections is how good they are defensively,
Yeah.
and just because they put up a lot of buckets, especially with that backcourt, you have such a talented backcourt to start. Like you can and it happens. I know there's a bunch of Cavs games I watch. Let's say if whoever if it's Darius has it going or Donovan has it going, they make sure they get the ball and they go to work. They go and even if they're scoring, they make sure they're also unselfish with their assist. But defensively, they're really good. And sometimes it's not even like the players I expect. It'll be Sam Merrill coming off the bench, like locking down the perimeter. Player I keep talking to, I always talk about when we talk about the Cavs is Ty Jerome. Ty Jerome coming off the bench, like locking down on the perimeter. Like key players contributing to like every win. And like you said, it's a deep team. So it's like come playoff time, they're gonna be so tough to deal with in the East. Just I like hands down by record wise, you're the best team in the league. When you watch them play, even when it seems like they get into like little tough stretches, the way they're able to get out, like the way not I want to say flip a switch, but just being consistent in moving the ball, finding players like Evan Mobley stepping up, doing different things offensively and defensively. Like you said, you didn't have space to even put Jared Allen on a graphic, and he's having like again a semi all-star season. Like having four players that are essentially all-stars on your starting lineup is tough. So it was a great win by them. It felt like it was over after the first half, honestly.
Bro, I was about
Like,
that was my next sentence.
yeah,
Like, at no point in the second half did I think Denver was going to come back and win that game. And that says a lot considering, one, it's the Nuggets who have Jokic, who's going to win like his
yes,
freaking 20th MVP. So, and then two, they've won a championship, so that team is never out of it. And three, motherfucker, we just watched the Pistons come back against the Kings out of nowhere in the fourth quarter. We
to get a
watched
coach
the
fired.
Atlanta Hawks down 16 or 50, whatever it was, with 7 minutes left to go, and win by 8, by the
Yeah,
way. So, like, in this league, during this time, a double-digit comeback is nothing. And
it's
at no
nothing. Yeah.
point did I think the Nuggets were going to come back win this game. At no point did I think the Cleveland Cavaliers were going to lose this game.
Yeah.
There wasn't a single bone in my body that thought that.
Yeah, and I think that's great for Cavs fans because I've like it's great to watch your team and not feel nervous when when you have a lead. Like maybe nah. I was watching, I was like, yeah, I don't see the Nuggets coming back, and we can switch it to the topic of the Nuggets now. Just Jokic had a triple double. Michael Porter Jr. put up 18 points or good
Yeah,
good
but he had
shooting.
like 12 or 14 of them in the first quarter and do shit
Yeah,
afterwards.
like Murray was 10 for 20. Like if you're just looking at the stat wise, you're like, oh, he had a good game. He had a good game. The Nuggets don't look good every time I watch them though. Like they start off slow every game. They've won a bunch of games where they had to come back and play in overtime. Jokic is amazing. Some of the plays he makes, amazing. Like they got good like help from the bench with Peyton Watson. They've been getting some consistent play from Julian Strother. I'm messing up his name.
No, you got it.
Yeah, from the bench as a shooter. Sometimes he comes
He
off the
played well
bench.
today in the first half,
Yeah, like
particularly.
when
Yeah.
he's hot, he's like he's a big help. But it's just you're a Nuggets fan, right? Are you frustrated watching this team thinking, hey, like we had a championship window. We have arguably the best player in the league. And it feels like because of roster decisions, the window keeps closing. And every time they play, they don't look like one of the most elite teams in the league. And they used to look like an unstoppable force with your starting lineup back in the day. Back in the day being like a couple of years ago, which is crazy, but
I mean, they won the championship 2 seasons ago, yeah.
yeah, so like now watching them, like I watch them, I'm like, even when they win, it doesn't feel like it's in convincing fashion, and that's to me that's like a sign that's kind of could be like problematic during the regular season because yeah, stuff it slows down in the playoffs, but you need to win some of these games to put yourself in the right position in the standings, so you're not dealing with the play-in, you're not dealing with like trying to get into the playoffs, and to me, they're a struggling team with arguably the best player in the league.
I mean, that's a good way to put it. They seem slow, and they seem like they can't guard the pick and actually it doesn't seem they can't guard
They
the pick
can't.
and
They
roll
can't.
with any type of consistency. I mean, the Cavs are running pick and roll, and by the time if Garland was or Mitchell was hitting Immobile or Allen in the pocket, it was literally like they were in the paint. It wasn't like they were, at the top of the key. Like they were getting the ball wherever they wanted to. They're slow-footed, and a lot of people like to rag on Jokic as if it's always his fault, and it's not. With the Cavs, you see it whenever Denver in the pick and roll, and Denver. I mean, I thought Denver played well for the most part. I'll be honest with you, I don't think they played bad. I just think the Cavs were just phenomenal today. But in pick and roll situations, when you watch the Cavs, you mentioned Merrill on their guards are just like they're getting screened, but they're chasing behind. Mobley can drop, but not at the same time. He doesn't give too much room when he's dropping. There's a lot of switchability with the team as well. They're not afraid to switch, and Denver just doesn't have that. Denver has Jokic and drop. We'll give you the three. If you hit it, you hit it. If you got to do anything else, we might not be able to do so. And yeah, it's just they can't guard the pick and roll with any type of consistency. And if you can't guard the pick and roll in today's game, you can't play defense because everyone runs the pick and roll for the most part, except the Grizzlies.
Now coming with the Nuggets, right? What do you think they're missing? Is there a move they can make? Because they keep talking about. The rumor was like maybe for Zach LaVine.
Jimmy fits way better than Zach in my mind.
Oh, Jimmy Butler. If they could get
but I
Jimmy
don't think they'll get Jimmy.
Yeah.
I mean, because even if you give Jim I don't even know what the contracts look like, but you would have to find a way to keep like Aaron Gordon. You know what I mean? Because to me, the Nuggets were missing Aaron Gordon today, and that's not why they lost. Like, let's put that out there. No asterisks. They would have lost anyway. But Aaron Gordon's like one of their better defenders, one of their better glue guys, and somebody who is an important part to this team.
Yeah.
Maybe MPJ. I know MPJ's name has been like shopped around a little bit, but I don't know what the Heat would expect back. It would have to be more than just like MPJ and a couple players.
But even that, right? Like it might have to probably MPJ would probably be the one that would have to get traded out. And anytime when I see a trade rumor, I'm like, does this make sense for either team? Like, does losing Michael Porter Jr. make sense for the Nuggets because of like how well he plays with Jokic though as a shooter? There isn't that many players with regardless of how like hits his I guess his on court faults that people want to usually point out. There isn't that many players that kind of fit that the system, the team, the way they play, and having such a quick trigger in terms of his shooting that helps open up the floor for like Jokic and even Murray. There isn't that many players that are available like that. So I always think like, okay, maybe they said Jimmy Butler. I'm like, I don't know if that fits. Like same with Zach LaVine. Like I don't know if that. I've seen some people that are deep in like that follow the Nuggets heavily have said that Zach LaVine would be like a great fit for the team. They can see it working out. Same with Jimmy Butler, but like I necessarily don't know because what are you giving out? What are you losing in the process when you make a trade? It's always a big deal.
Yeah, I don't know what they had to give up, but like just prototype in my mind. Like I know MPJ's a shooter, but that's all he really does. I mean, he's been better defensively as of late, but on the offensive end, I mean, he's not creating plays for other. And Jimmy just adds such a different dynamic offensively, and he could take over. You would have three players who could take over a game. You just give him the ball and like get out the way. Murray can do it. Murray's been playing better as of late. Jokic and then Jimmy. I like Zach. I think you can say the same thing about Zach offensively, but Jimmy Butler gives you just a dog mentality on the defensive end that Zach does just not give you. I mean, we want to talk about pick and roll right now. Like you have Gordon and Jimmy Butler out there. I mean, Jokic in their championship run played solid defense. Last year, not so much. So it depends how well he plays. I mean, automatically, they're way better defensively, too, which is where I think they struggle the most. They put up 135 points today, Kwab. It's not like...
And it wasn't enough. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like we're talking about, like, them being inept scoring the basketball. They just couldn't stop Cleveland. Like, Cleveland got whatever the hell they wanted. Donovan, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen, who has a freaking mid-range jumper now, which is wild. Whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's going to do it. The Cavs beat the Nuggets 149-135. They are still the best team in the league. Shout out to Cleveland. Shouts to Cavs fans who watch our show. If you are a Cavs fan and you like what you heard, subscribe. If you're not a fan, you like what you heard, subscribe. If you don't, subscribe. Do it anyway.
And leave a comment and tell us we
comment.
suck. We're cool. Come on.
Yeah.
Bring it on. Yeah.
All right, we'll see you for another game recap at the dime. Peace.